Hello, my name is Winnie, and I'm obsessed with The Sims and Doctor Who, so I decided to combine the two. Plus, I found this really cool mod that literally I've been thinking about forever, and I was looking for custom content the other night and testing out some new mods and whatnot, and I randomly came by a Doctor Who mod, which I was really pleasantly surprised because I kind of always tried looking for one but never was able to find one, and so now that I finally did, I'm super ecstatic to try it out. Basically what the mod is your sim can find the TARDIS and befriend it and then go on adventures and stuff, which I thought was really cool. I haven't really played around with it. I did test it out to make sure that it worked. I decided not to really play with it because I kind of wanted to record it, and in case anybody else loves Doctor Who as much as I do, I haven't seen any videos about it, and even on the post that I found, the creator even said that they don't think that it would really get too much hype, but I'm super hype about it. I'll leave a link in the description box down below of the creator. Their name is Pixara, and basically a lot of their custom content that they create is all based off of Doctor Who, which I find very exciting because of how much I love Doctor Who myself. Literally when The Sims 4 actually released, like literally the same week it released, the third sim that I created was actually the 10th Doctor. I had also created two siblings that I imagine would have went on adventures with the Doctor. They were aliens, even though we didn't have aliens in the base game. If you're not familiar with Doctor Who, basically he's a 900-year-old alien. His race is a Time Lord, and he travels all throughout space and time. He is the last of his kind, and his favorite race is humans, and he always tries to protect the human race at all costs, no matter what. And he basically flies around in his spaceship called the TARDIS. Most of the time he will find a companion that he brings along with him, which is usually a human. They're usually always human that he brings along with him. When I started watching Doctor Who, I started with the 9th Doctor. Basically, whenever he doesn't die, he will regenerate if anything bad happens to his body. So he turns into a different person. Not really a different person, but a different body. I know it sounds crazy, but if you like sci-fi, then I highly recommend you checking it out. It is a UK-based show, but I'm pretty sure you can find it on... I watch it off of Amazon, so I'm not too sure exactly where you can watch it, but if you have Amazon, I highly recommend you check it out. I don't watch very much TV, but best believe I am absolutely obsessed with that show, and I can watch it over and over and over. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to watch any of the current episodes, but I know like vaguely here and there. Like the most current Doctor, I believe, is a woman, which I think is really cool. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend checking it out. As for the characters that I am creating right now, I imagine them being one of the Doctor's companions that he takes along. This sim right here is Ripley Piper, and I did base her name kind of off of the 9th Doctor's companion, Rose Tyler. The actress that plays her is Billie Piper, and Ripley I got from the movie Alien. Ripley's aspiration is to be a Star Trekker. I do have a mod for this. If you're interested in it, let me know, but she wants to explore space. She's ambitious, a bookworm, and clumsy. I imagine Ripley to be super obsessed with space, has always read books about space, and even when she was a little girl, just always dreamed of going to space one day. As for the other character, his name is Echo, Alistar, and I definitely imagine them being best friends. He is an alien. I don't know if I kind of get the vibe of like best friends to lovers kind of thing, and they both go on adventures with the Doctor, but I definitely see them as best friends for sure. I imagine that Ripley met Echo when she was either a child or a teenager, and they've been friends for a really long time. Echo has always gone back and forth between Sixum and Earth, wherever Sims live, but they became best friends, and since Ripley is obsessed with space, it just worked out perfectly for her, honestly. Echo is charitable. He basically sees the world for what it could be and wants to help it get there. He's a genius, active, and lactose intolerant. I couldn't really think of the third trait, so I thought it would be kind of funny to be lactose intolerant. I'm lactose intolerant, and an alien being lactose intolerant just makes sense. I don't know, but it was kind of funny, the random outfits that he had. Him and his like sim version disguise had, it was a fairy costume that I have in my game, and it was atrocious, and the makeup, oh my goodness, that was really bad. But I really like Ripley and Echo a lot. I think they're very cute Sims. I thought that they would be pretty perfect for this like mod review. Even though I'm just doing a mod review for this video, I do plan on playing with them on my own time, especially to kind of dive deeper into the mod myself. This mod sounds so cool to me because the creator says that it's a game pack, and it truly is a whole game pack in itself, and the fact that it was created by another player, I love that. That's so cool. I was reading more on the creator's page about the mod, and what it says is that it adds a whole bunch of new interactions. You find the TARDIS, and then you can go on adventures. I'm pretty sure those adventures are just rabbit holes, but that still creates a whole nother aspect for you to play. You can find new things. I believe you can even add rooms or something like that into the TARDIS. You can also find the world where the Doctor is from, Gallifrey. It did say that it is pretty hard to find that, but it's possible. Another thing that the mod adds is a new skill. I think has something to do with the TARDIS also. I don't really remember. I'll have to read more about it. I feel like even if you don't know anything about Doctor Who and you're just a fan of science fiction things or what have you, I really think that this game pack is even good for just playing, because it adds a whole new dynamic to the game entirely, which is really cool. One of my favorite things about The Sims is, yeah, you can have like family Sims and drama and whatnot, but I really love occults too, because the fantasy and the science fiction, the aliens, the witches, the vampires. In Sims 3, I really loved playing with the fairy Sims. No lie, every time I would make a new Sim, more than likely I'd be making a fairy. EA, bring back fairies. Oh, and werewolves too. But I feel like I do play with a lot of the witches and the vampires, but I never really play with the aliens, and I feel like since they are a part of the game, why can't I play with them? Because they don't have really any purpose. And to me, this mod sounds like it's going to give playing with the aliens a hell of a lot more purpose than they come with just get together, because honestly, I really feel like they're completely irrelevant unless your Sim randomly meets one in disguise walking around town or something. But again, that's my own personal opinion. Well, if you've made it this far listening to me babble on and on about The Sims and Doctor Who, thank you for one, and two, I hope that you do enjoy this little mod review, and I hope you enjoyed this little create a sim of my two companion Sims for the Doctor. Let me know what you think of them and if you enjoy playing with the occult Sims. And now, without further ado, let's get into the mod review and gameplay. So here we are in Willow Creek with Ripley and Echo, and they do have their friend, John Smith, aka the Doctor. He is currently in hiding. If you know, you know. And we have to help him find the TARDIS. In order to do that, you have to go to the telescope and you get a new option to track unknown flying objects. This is the exact Doctor that I made the 3 weeks of having The Sims for. Basically, Ripley and Echo were traveling through space and time with the Doctor, and unfortunately some things happened and they had to come back to Earth, and the Doctor had to go into hiding. And unfortunately, his TARDIS was taken. Not taken. It was taken. We'll just say it was taken. And now he has to look for it. In order to find the TARDIS, they do have to go all the way through the interaction, which it does take a couple minutes, but that's totally fine. He's almost there. So then you get a phone call, and it's a message from the sky. Someone is calling. It comes from the police box. A police officer. Should John answer the call? And when you say, okay, the TARDIS pops up. It's so cool looking. It literally looks exactly like the TV show. It's so awesome. It would be a little bit cooler for me if Police Box and Public Call was in Simlish, but that's only a personal preference. I prefer Simlish in my game rather than English. And then you get another notification saying the police box crashes to the ground. So when you click on it, you can open it. I believe you can store things in it. You can also talk to it and explore and put it in your inventory. But we'll go ahead and have the Doctor go and try and talk to it. And when you do this, it does bring up a relationship with the TARDIS, which is super awesome. So right now, they're only acquaintances. It looks like he had an embarrassing moment. Just a blue box from talking to a box. Did anyone just saw that? Nothing has happened. I'm pretty sure they meant, did anyone just see that? I believe the creator is German. I'm not exactly sure. I will have to double check that for sure. Either way, it's pretty cool. He does have another moodlet. Lonely spaceship. From tracking UFO, an unknown flying object from space. This can be interesting. Hell yeah. And then, so you get more interactions. You can do a rude remark or do some small talk. And I believe as you gain more relationship with the TARDIS, more options tend to pop up. It looks like things aren't going so well for Mr. John Smith. I'll just keep having him do some small talk. Oh, so we can now ask about its day. You can insult the chameleon circuit, but we're not going to do that. It doesn't look like he's having a very good time. Discuss reversing the polarity of the neutron flow. Gush about time and space. It looks like the more you talk to it, the more interactions you get. I really think that the whole TARDIS, the way that the TARDIS looks so awesome, and you can even kind of see inside. So I did cheat to make him not embarrassed anymore and had him do a little bit more interactions, and I believe he told him a joke. But why do Cybermen typically have no Facebook friends? They delete them. Ha ha ha. The Cybermen are actually one of my biggest fears. I literally still am so afraid of them. Captain Jack visited the Virgin Islands once. Now they're just called the Islands. Har har har. Love Captain Jack. I like how the creator put time into creating their own little jokes. That's funny. We are about halfway. They're friends now. And if you see how it says power partial, the TARDIS does lose energy, which in order to get more energy, I believe that's where the trait comes in. It does take a little bit of talking to the TARDIS, but it also in a sense seems like the relationship goes up pretty fast. Okay, so I've gotten the relationship up quite a bit, and Another option, which you can do this even without gaining a relationship, you can explore. And this is kind of where the rabbit holes come in. I did test this out on my own the other day, and he kind of haunts it, essentially. That's like the little animation. And then this pops up. Journey to the center of the TARDIS. John is teleported to the middle of a corridor. The ship is a lot bigger than anticipated. When he enters a room, the cloister bell sounds. The room is hardly equipped. There are some furniture for storage and a dusty TARDIS instruction manual. What should John do? We can either take the book or open the book. I'm going to open the book. Journey's End. Before opening the book, John blows the dust off. Unfortunately, he gets dust into his eyes. As he sneezes, a glass container falls from a shelf. It spills purple liquid. All John can remember is a female voice whispering softly in a foreign language. Then he passes out. Well, we'll wake up. So, that left him dazed, paranoid from failed TARDIS adventures, someone else hearing these strange voices. And now we can't explore. So now he needs to rest. So we will try again in the morning. I would just like to throw out there that the same creator also created another mod where your Sims don't pull out your phone, or not your phone, pull out their phone as much. And I find it working really, really well right now. I remember using the same mod before, not by the same creator, and it also didn't work very well. So I'm going to have the doctor do more exploring since he's awake. And it's the same little card, so we're going to take the book this time. John takes the book and follows the strange bells which lead to the next room. This looks like a cloister. Right in the middle of the room is a stone structure which looks like a big closed eye. Cautiously, John comes closer and watches the eye opening. He sees pictures of his past in bright yellow light. We're gonna stare at the eye. This is probably not a very good choice either, because everybody knows when you look at the TARDIS in the heart, only bad things happen. John sees his greatest nightmares and fears in front of him. It feels like his soul is cracking. Then he is teleported back to safety. And now he needs rest again. So this might take a little bit in order to actually get somewhere. I'm going to see if I can have him rest. The power is low. I'll have to figure out how to get that skill. Okay, so I was able to find it in MC Command Center. It's called TARDIS Engineering. Sims with a TARDIS will learn a lot about Time Lord engineering. TARDIS engineering skill is improved by reading the TARDIS instruction manual or traveling through time and space. So it seems as if he will have to get a little bit further with the TARDIS. Hopefully, when he wakes back up, we can get one of those chance cards and proceed. Actually, since the doctor is sleeping, I'm gonna have Ripley come and try. She doesn't have a relationship, but we'll still try with her, see what happens. Okay, I tried again with Echo, and I had him run instead of staring into the eye. Puh, what was that? Echo stops to catch a breath. On the right is a strange dark room. There is a big tree with hanging cables and glowing orbs that look like fruits. Echo observes the light balls and notices a missing one. Search. So this is kind of like when you're going into the Easter egg, so like the one in Willow Creek, the tree. I forget what it's called, but you have to pick the correct cards in order to get to the one place. I can't remember what the name is. To get to Sylvan Glade. So this might take me a little bit, only because one, I've never played this, and I don't believe either that there is any like cheat sheets on the creators page. I will have to double check that. Echo feels her heart. The TARDIS is kind and treats Echo as an honored guest. She's so much more than just a ship. Echo can feel it. Yay! Well, he seems a lot closer to the TARDIS. A living box. Such a beauty, such a perfection, bigger on the inside. The TARDIS is not a machine or a weapon. It is a living thing with a heart and soul. I wonder, so they didn't really give him any relationship with her, but he can explore her again. So let's built a little bit of a relationship. And since the TARDIS's power is low, we got a notification saying that it needs to be refueled. Otherwise, the architectural configuration will enable rooms to be jettisoned to provide power. I'll have him explore it again to see if we can get Echo the skill. If not, I'm just going to cheat it. So I had him do it a few more times, and now he can become the owner. Only one sim can have this TARDIS. Unlocks new interactions, and he can still explore. So we will become the owner and see what happens. Oh, he's already becoming the owner. So that was pretty cool. It automatically did that since he has a really great relationship with the TARDIS and was able to successfully explore. So since it unlocked new interactions, it didn't seem to give him a new moodlet, but it did give him new interactions. We can now name the TARDIS and console. We can refuel with Eye of Harmony, enable TARDIS voice interface. That's pretty cool. Enables you to interact with a hologram. Travel, light. Since I did cheat his skill, so he's maxed out in the TARDIS engineering, he can now fix the chameleon circuit, but he can't do this right now because the TARDIS needs power. So, I believe after being converted into Artron energy, the power of the Eye of Harmony is ready for use. This near magical use of super radiant scattering allows the Eye of Harmony to provide energy for the TARDIS, and it costs $400 or 400 simoleons. So, let's see. And that completely refueled the TARDIS's power, and now it's full. And we'll go ahead and enable TARDIS voice interface. I want to see what that is. And now we can also construct. So we can do a kitchen, a pool, wardrobe, and a bedroom. So if we construct all these things, instead of having to go home or anything, if he's bringing the TARDIS with him, he can just go into the TARDIS and go to sleep, eat, go swimming. I think that's probably for fun, and then change. And that seems to also, oh my gosh, is this the interface? I wonder if this is like randomized or like if it's a random sim. Her name's Freya. That's pretty cool that she's blue. And it looks like she's like electrified, which is neat since the TARDIS is essentially the energy of the spaceship. And him constructing is actually giving him handiness too, which is pretty cool. So it does seem to take him quite a bit in order to construct things, which that makes sense. And so he's finished, and it says John constructed a bedroom with the magic of the architectural reconfiguration system. Take a nap before heading into next adventure. So it seems like it's really worth it to construct all the rooms, especially if he goes traveling with the TARDIS. He did get a new moodlet, architectural reconfiguration system. It is so satisfying to see how the TARDIS is capable of building rooms. And so you can't, if you aren't impatient about doing it, you can shift, testing cheats enable true, shift click, and then add everything. So I'm gonna do that and see. Yeah, so it went ahead and did all that. So if you want your sim to build up the handiness skill and whatnot, you can go ahead and have them construct it themselves or just cheat it, which is pretty cool. I like that option. So it's kind of empty. We'll go ahead and refuel. And so now that it's refueled, we'll go ahead and travel. So, oh, and this is where you can do all the adventures. You can go to Forgotten Grotto, a lot, Magic Realm, Sixum, Sylvan Glade, Space Adventure, Time Adventure, in the future and in the past. That's super awesome. Let's see what happens if we go to the future. And so it just disappeared. I should have did it slowly. You can still see his plumb bob. The nightmare begins. John arrives on the planet Kemble in the year 4000. He leaves the TARDIS to seek out civilization and hears an oncoming spaceship. Daleks. Return to TARDIS. So it seems like it's the same thing. You kind of get the little Easter egg cards. Day of Armageddon. Unfortunately, Daleks are milling around preparing to board John's machine. The two Daleks refer to the imminent beginning of Operation Inferno. John slinks off into the jungle, leaving the two Daleks guarding the ship. He observes the Daleks using their pyro flames in order to torch the jungle. Move towards Dalek City or go back to the TARDIS. I'm pretty sure if he went back to the TARDIS, he may come home. So, plus in Doctor fashion, I'm sure he would go towards the Dalek City. The meeting begins and the Dalek Supreme reports their ultimate weapon, the Time Destructor, is now complete. A Guardian reveals he has procured a sample of the extremely rare element terranium necessary to operate the Time Destructor, steel. John manages to steal the element and escape. Without it, the Daleks cannot operate with the Time Destructor. It kind of reminds me of the spaceship that your Sims can build, upgrade, and then go on adventures. So if you do like playing with the spaceship, I think that this one probably is a little bit more exciting, but that's personal preference, and because I'm a total fan of Doctor Who, so I think it's really cool. But since he did steal, he did get a cat plant berry, and I didn't notice, but he has 2 instruction manuals. Is it the same thing? Yeah, a book that instructs in piloting and working of a TARDIS. So I'm pretty sure if he were to read this, this would get him the TARDIS engineering trait, but since I already maxed it out, he doesn't really need to read that. But that is pretty cool that you can go on little adventures. So let's go ahead and travel to Sixum and see what happens there. It would be pretty cool if like multiple people could travel with you, so he could bring like Ripley and Echo. John wants to take off. What should he do? Switch on the vortex loop, use vector tractor. We'll switch on the vortex loop. John puts on the vortex loop, which looks like a bicycle pump. What is next? Use relative dimensional stabilizer, switch on the vortex loop. Switch on the... Oh, I clicked the wrong button. Great, the stabilizer allows to cross the dimensional barrier, and now... So I guess I picked the right one, so that's good. Use relative dimensional stabilizer. I think that was the one I clicked. Oh. So if you get it wrong... That's kind of, I personally like that it gives you the little cards in order to travel or not. That's personal preference though. Because that kind of happens as well with the spaceship and the portal even. Great, now I don't remember which ones I chose. Okay, cool. Preparing for takeoff. Allons-y. And now same thing as if you were traveling with the portal or the spaceship. It takes you to the loading screen so that we can go to Sixum. And now the Doctor is in space, and I don't know about you, but I'm really fond of this mod. I think it's really fun. It adds just like a little bit more gameplay, at least for me. I do tend to play a lot of families. I like to make drama, but sometimes I really wish that there was a little bit more depth in The Sims 4, and no shade at all, because this is still such a really cool game in its own, for its own little reasons. But I really, really love custom content and mods, and if you are able to use custom content or mods, I highly recommend it because it really just adds a little extra to the game. I definitely wouldn't play with this with like a family legacy type of thing, but I feel like for if I'm feeling like doing adventurous things, or you know, playing with the Doctor, or a sim that really loves science fiction, or just like rocket science or what have you, I definitely feel like this mod would be used quite a bit. I do feel like this mod gives a little bit extra gameplay for me, especially if I'm bored of just playing with family sims, because I do tend to play with a lot of family sims, and sometimes I just get bored with it, you know? So to me, this mod is really worth it. And like I said before too, even if you have never seen Doctor Who, I don't think that you really have to be familiar with Doctor Who at all. It just gives you a little bit more gameplay in The Sims if you're looking for it, which I think is really awesome. Now, if you are a fan of Doctor Who, this is definitely even cooler, personally. Ever since watching the first episode of Doctor Who, I always wanted to go on adventures and wait to hear the TARDIS landing somewhere. And I think it's super awesome. Now I can live vicariously through my Sims. And that's so much fun to me. So in all, this mod definitely gets a big approval from me. Not only just being a Doctor Who fan, but also being a Sims fan. I really, really think that this adds a lot of gameplay. And I think that's just so awesome, especially since another player has created this. If you do check out this mod, definitely let me know down in the comments below. Are you a Doctor Who fan? Have you ever seen it or even heard of it, or is this your first time? I'd really like to know, because I don't really usually meet too many people who know about Doctor Who. I also just realized that unfortunately he doesn't have the TARDIS here with him. I think we'd probably have to travel back home via the portal, which that kind of sucks, but I definitely will still use this quite a bit. I think it was super fun and interesting. Again, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, even if you don't plan on playing with this mod or anything. I hope that it was at least entertaining for you. If it was entertaining, go ahead and subscribe for more content and maybe check out my Let's Plays because they're pretty interesting if I do say so myself. And plus, I'd love to have you stick around. So yeah, I will talk to you in the next video. Bye!